Ready? Ready. Hi, everybody. So it's an interesting day today. We're going to be unveiling Anand Neelkantan's new book. He's been prolific in the lockdown. He's been up to what authors do best. He's been writing. And this gives me a great opportunity to interact with him. And in this lockdown, I think I haven't spoken much with him. So I'm going to catch up with him on this. But for the book club members and for all of you, you don't need a new introduction to Anand Neelkantan. He's been an integral part of our book club. He's done our master classes. We have read his book. So he is one of Sonali's book club's favorite authors and who has always come by and done a little bit of fabulous things for us. So here in the lockdown is an opportunity for us to catch up with him. And before I do anything else, what I would like to do is thank Anand for sending me this gift. Can I say that? Yes, guess what? Before anybody else, I have got this exclusive. I'm going to show you the. Guess what is it? Yes, I've got his new book. So who is eager and how interested are you in seeing what it looks like? It says Chaturang, that's the name, and which he had promised us. Remember when he had come on the conversation the last time that we had he had told us that he was going to be writing about the various characters from Bahubali, and we were like so excited and all of that. So here's that book that we were waiting for, and I'm going to be unveiling that. So here goes. Bear with me. Ta-da!
Thank you.
Can you see that? Is it correct? Can you see it properly? Can I get it there? So, S.S. Rajamouli's Bahubali, Before the Beginning, Book 2. Chaturang by Anand Neelkantan. Anand, this is a fantastic cover. Can you please tell me what is behind this design of the book? What is behind it? What's the thought behind it?
Thank you, Sonali, for doing me the honor of unveiling the book. Thank you so much. It has been good catching up with you. We had other programs also planned, but due to lockdown, we couldn't do. We think we should have a special session for Sonali Book Club members also separately.
We should. Absolutely. We will.
You have always been an inspiration for all the authors and the entire country itself. So thank you for being you. That's the first thing I would like.
Very kind, Anand, and I love it. But you're being too kind. Thank you so much. But can you tell me more about what does this cover mean?
I have a small story to say. Because I'm a storyteller, naturally I'll be telling.
Of course. Why small? We love listening to stories from you. Please tell us a big story.
Chaturanga is a game which was played in ancient India. It is not exactly chess.
Okay.
It is more similar to Ludo. Many a times we think it is chess. It's more similar to Ludo with some of the chess moves from which it evolved. Chaturanga has two things. One is your skill, your intelligence, your skill, your planning, the way in which you will think how the opponents are thinking. Second, there is a roll of the dice. That is what Shakuni plays Chaturanga only. There is a roll of the dice.
So mean to say that there is the chess moves as in the strategy, but there is a bit of a roll of the dice in the sense of the luck factor in it also.
That reflects life actually. Life is what? Life is nothing but some elements of luck. You don't know what comes, but a good Chaturanga player is the one, whatever comes, she or he moves her pieces accordingly. So that is why the title was given Chaturanga, because the world created is a very tough and difficult world. Bahubali was set up in the medieval India, approximately 800, 900 AD, approximately. That is what the time which, even though the time was not specified, it was kept at that stage. And we know it is one of the, even though it is very tough for a woman to come to the top, unlike Bahubali, the heroine of my book series is Shivagami. That is a mother of Bahubali.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
it is the game of, it's actually a game of thrones, but much beyond that. It is a game of wits. It's a game of political intrigue. It's like House of Cards set up in 8th century India or 9th.
Serious. That sounds fantastic.
So it is ruthlessness, element of luck, multiple players. It's a
So are you telling us that Shivagami is ruthless in this book?
Shivagami is always ruthless. No, Shivagami orders the murder of Bahubali, who she loves. She asks Katappa to assassinate. So that is what, when Rajamouli sir had asked me which character he would pick up if you are writing a prequel, I had answered him, if you are writing an official prequel, there are only two characters who are who can come into a novel. Because film is a different kind of storytelling. In novel, you can go into darker modes easily.
Right.
There are two characters in the film. One is Katappa, who is so positive that he turns to negative. That is why he goes and stabs Bahubali behind. So he has a fascinating story. And the woman who orders it, Bahubali's own adopted mother.
So what made you choose what made you choose Shivagami over Katappa?
Shivagami, again, I have been always fascinated with powerful women in history.
Really? But most of your books are really strong male characters.
Shivagami is the first one, and if you, I don't know whether you had read Vanara, in which Bali and Sugriv are fighting Tara, and Tara is a very strong character.
Correct. But this is main character here. This is your first completely main, full front center woman character.
Historical or fantasy fiction, historical fiction especially, it is very rare to have a female protagonist. So it was a challenge to write also. And it was fun to write also. So two things what made me choose is that. Second thing is I have always been fascinated with the politically powerful women all through history, whether it is Razia Sultana or whether it is Rani Lakshmi Bai or whether it is Indira Gandhi or Margaret Thatcher or Sirimaba Bandaranaike, the list is endless. Jayalalitha. So Shivagami has elements of all these people in that. Because I am a history buff, so I have taken from this because it's doubly tough for the women to come up in any field. And now you are taking it up.
Sorry, so you're obviously talking about political intrigue. That means there must be lots of twists and turns in this book. What are the, how many? Every little while there is a new twist, new turn. What is it?
Every half a page, perhaps.
That's fantastic.
The political intrigue is like that. No, politics changes by minute. So when you are writing, it has to reflect that. At least part of it should reflect that.
So a lot of twists and turns.
It is full of twists and turns. So Chaturanga, once you go to the third book also is ready. The third book also is the second book, the second part of Raisa Shivagami. The third book, when it comes, the game becomes more faster. This itself is fast. The game becomes more faster because it is going to the climax.
Okay.
So it is the rise of a woman, an ordinary woman, to become the most powerful queen of Mahishmati. In this imaginary kingdom, Mahishmati is ruling the entire country, perhaps, entire India, perhaps. Whenever I write, when I wrote Asura, the Lanka is present-day India. When I write Vanara, the Kishkinda is present-day India. I told that in the
probably that's why we identify with it so much.
So Mahishmati is present-day India. So there is a thinly veiled references, and a good reader can find out the kind of reflections in present-day politics also.
So I want to tell the readers one thing. The book is going to be ready for pre-order. And I think I've got my copy, and we are going to look at the twists and the turns, and we're going to try to understand what are these thinly veiled characters and who do they apply to in today's political intrigue in India. So I'm looking forward to that. That's an interesting thing that you've said, and I really want. I mean, I would love my book club members to kind of read that and write into us and tell us who do you think is which character from today's India. Sorry to interrupt you, but I had to do that.
We say that. That is for the reader to find out and identify. I will not tell it openly, but everything reflects the present day society, is what I would like to say, even though it is set up in the medieval India. Every book has to do that. That's what I believe also. Any book you write, whichever you set it in the past, you set it in the future, it has to be a reflection of the slice of society of present day. The settings.
So, Bahubali obviously is a hugely visual film, and film itself a visual. And now, you're writing a book on, your books are very visual also. How much of a pressure was it, and what was it? What was that interaction with Rajamouli sir, and how was that whole relationship? How did you interact with him on it, or did you interact with him, or how much?
He had called me and we had a discussion on it. So he connected. I told in other interviews also, like a small test on my the way I can write. After that, once I started writing, except one or two basic rules, he had not interfered at all. So he had given me the full freedom. I created almost 40 characters, and 3-4 characters also into this book. First book, 30-40 of them carry into it, of which 7 or 8 are the major characters apart from Shivagami. So this is to, as I said, to reflect the society. There are good people, bad people, grey people.
How did you keep track of all these characters?
If you are not able to track, then I will consider as my writing skills have to improve more.
No. We'll track them because you would have written it really well. So you would have made our job easy. But as an author, how did you keep track of all these characters, and what was the process, and what did you do? Because 30-40 characters is a lot to kind of keep track of and bring the threads together.
Actually, since I had dealt with Ajaya series, Lord of the Dice and Rise of Kali, where Mahabharata has more than 100 characters, that becomes itself is a training ground. Second thing, Indians are used to this complicated stories.
Yeah.
Many a times we underestimate the capability of Indians to handle the complicated stories. Which culture has something like Mahabharata or Ramayana, which itself is, Ramayana is still simplistic, Mahabharata is so complicated, and there is no good or bad, yet people love it. So I should not tell myself that I should tell a very simplistic story. If you are reflecting life is complicated. So it has to reflect life. There are 30-40 characters. What I do when I write, in that masterclass also I had told, if you remember, I try to role play. Not that anybody, I am a bad actor, but I can role play.
Role plays.
Yes, I have to. Every character is important. Even the smallest character, if he comes for a scene, if she comes for a scene, it has to create an impact in the mind of.
Anand, I cannot let this go. Role play. We need to see you do a character. Pick a character from Chaturanga, and we want to see you role play that character. Next few sentences, I want you to speak like Shivagami. Come on.
I want to leave it to great actors like you. I am not an actor, so I close my room, sit there, and I don't even show my wife or kids because they will keep laughing and make me laugh.
Oh, we have to see this.
The person who has seen is my Jackie, my pet dog, who is lying down here. He has seen all kind of role plays. I'm fortunate that he has not come and bitten me off. That's all.
That goes to show that you're good at it. So this, just aside from, I know the book, it's a book launch, but just aside from this, considering that you do so much of role play, have you ever thought of acting in as one of your characters? It could be a small character, but have you ever felt like doing that?
That is in my bucket list, to do some cameo.
Got you.
Partly there, actually.
Got you. So then, have you told this to Rajamouli sir?
Secret. No, I don't think anyone who knows me will. There is no director daring enough to take me into that.
Come on.
But so you get into the skin of the character, and then the more the character, the better. So that's why people say, many of the writers are schizophrenic. Many of them are half mad. It's a part of writing process, perhaps.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's true. So tell me, how much pressure has it been? I mean, did you feel a lot of pressure? Because it was the beginning of Bahubali. So Bahubali was already, I mean, I know you have written a version of Ramayana, you've written a version of Mahabharat in the sense of from the Ravan's point of view, which has been a huge thing on your shoulders. So you're used to kind of taking that on. But Bahubali has been a huge blockbuster. It has been like all across, biggest film. You know, taking on and forming a prequel to it in that sense. How much pressure did you feel?
A lot of one way of looking at it is a lot of pressure was there, but then Rajamouli sir said, "You are not making my book; you are making your book. So think it like that. You are using the characters to do your book rather than trying to do something which is already shown in the film and it has become an iconic film. So instead of imitating what is shown in the film, I created a parallel world. So one good thing is that the freedom I got. Second thing is that I am writing the prequel. So none of my characters except 2 or 3 are in the film. And
Correct,
it's about
correct.
their youth, 17 years, 20 years, 21 years. So I can play around with that. So
But so that actually does show us. So you have actually basically gone the other way around and have given us where and how they started from and what made them what they were when we saw Bahubali.
it is might be rare, perhaps in the history of films and books.
It is. I don't think it has ever been done. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Perhaps I have not heard much. It has come as a what you call parallel thing, like Star Wars and all separate
Star
stories.
Wars. Yeah.
But I don't know whether prequel has been done of a film.
Prequel also. Yeah, they did do prequel in Star Wars. Other than Star Wars, not really.
And Star Wars, only a few are there. So it might be one of the 2 or 3 perhaps ever experimented.
I remember thinking when you told me you were going to be writing this series of books for from this thing, and I remember thinking that my God, what a perfect fit. This is just so ideal. So it just felt absolutely right the moment I heard it. That yes, and we were all very sure that okay, Anand's going to write it, and it's going to be fantastic. So all that adds to the pressure. So did you feel it when you were writing, or were you so into the role play that you forgot about the pressure?
No, that any book you write, I get into that zone and do it. After that, once you write, you are detached with it. But until then, until it comes to the print, by today, I'm detached from this as a creative product. Only I'm now concentrating on the 3rd book, which is almost 50% over. This year itself, we are trying to bring it out. The climax, writing and rewriting. But when you are writing, as you know, any artist, when you are doing your roles, you will go into the character, right? Same way the writer does. Only thing is that your pressure is more. Hundreds of people, thousands, lakhs or crores of people will see you acting. For me, only my dog will see. So I did not bother about it. I have to only bother about my writing.
Tell me, how productive has lockdown been for you?
Plenty of things I wrote. I am working on a screenplay of a film, which the announcement will come soon. Hindi film.
Okay.
Then, I wrote something for Audible.
Okay.
Ramayana, lessons from Ramayana, a talk series.
Oh, beautiful.
Fiction. Then I wrote a children's book. Then I completed Women of Ramayana, which Westland will be coming up soon after this.
Okay.
All from the perspective of different women, like Tadaga, Shurpanaga, the unheard stories, the entire women's perspective. That
I
also,
think Shivagami got you interested in the women in your stories. Till then, you were still stuck with her, but we have to hand it to Shivagami. She has brought you to write the stories, these beautiful stories, because I'm really looking forward. I would love to know all these stories from the women point of view, because we don't really know it from the women's point of view. And various people have tried. A lot of times, various women have tried, like Chitra Kumar Banerjee is the Divya Kumar Banerjee. She's written that book on Sita. But it's a woman writing, and it would be interesting to see how, as a man, you're going to write about the women from Ramayana. And that sounds interesting. Then, what else have you been up to in lockdown?
then a children's book I finished. Actually, 2 children's book I finished. So that also should be coming one by one. Now the problem is I have to pace it out. Around 4 or 5 books I have. It has to pace it out.
So writing is okay, but we are all stuck in our homes, and we have been in the home. So how has it been? Home family means who all? We know Jackie.
Jackie, my wife Aparna, kids Ananya and Abhinav. This is the family here. I'm extended
So
family.
tell me, how have your kids reacted to noises coming from your study room where you're role playing and everything? What do they have to say?
They are used to it. My daughter is 16, turning 17. Son is turning 14. So from 2012, from the time they have been kids, they have seen this madness. So they are used to this.
I must say that as a child, to have you telling them stories must have been fantastic.
Yeah, but now they are grown out of it.
But were you always the storyteller, or was the mother the storyteller?
I was a storyteller.
Ah, did that help contribute in bringing out the children's book, because the children are all grown up and are not listening to the stories anymore?
That's what I have written in the foreword of that book itself.
Really? Okay. So that's how has that been? How is this lockdown period, family being together? Because whatever said and done, all of us lead really busy lives, and this, I feel, has been a time where it's been a bonding time. How has it been for you?
Actually, it is more time for us. No, a lot of time. I have grown a bit lazy. Actually, I have started waking up a bit late than when lockdown was not there.
You don't have the traffic timing now, so you don't have to commute somewhere, so you can put that into sleep.
We can put that into that. And only thing what we miss is going out and going to our resort in Kerala, where we have farmhouse there. We are not able to go there. We are stuck here, but that is okay. Otherwise, also everyone is together. Kids are not going to school. The life pace has come down a lot. Of course, some sort of fear also is there because what is going on around.
Yeah.
Because of the
Absolutely.
lockdown.
So that is true. One is looking for all the silver linings. One is looking for the sunshine, basically, in the situation. It is a sad situation, and there's so many. That we cannot say it enough as to how blessed you and me are, that we have the homes, we have the families with us, and sometimes I tell myself that this is the time that I missed out while I was going through my treatment, with my time with my son. Literally, I've been given that time with my son, before he just grows up and disappears. So the age that your children are at, to have them at home with you and kind of bonding with you, I think it's a gift that has been given. So any new stories that are coming out of that, what sort of do they inspire you in any way now that they're all grown up? Because see, the children's book that you wrote were the stories you told them when they were kids, but now that they're all grown up, does that inspire you? Has that made you think about doing something different? Do you still think about historical fiction only? Do you think this lockdown is going to affect the way you write or the material that you put out?
No, I want to move out of mythology. Not that I want to leave it as such, because that is my core competency, but I want to experiment with other thrillers and other things, young adult book. In fact, before Bahubali was happening, I had completed an young adult book almost. It's called again, Amazon is coming up with. Westland is coming up. That is a fantasy fiction set up in the Puranic age with magic school and other things, an Indian version.
Yeah. See, I'm a fantasy fiction freak. I love these things. So yeah, absolutely, I love.
Again, a female protagonist.
Nice. Nice. What does your son have to say about that now? Your daughter must be really happy that there are all these strong women characters that are coming out of you now.
Son, fortunately or unfortunately, doesn't read much. My daughter reads a lot, and we discuss a lot. Son is a football freak, so we discuss only football with him.
Does your daughter write also?
She writes, but now she's in an age where she is not ready to show it to everyone. I'll have to sneak into her room and read it. She writes very well, actually.
Yeah. You think this lockdown might push her to make her bring something out? It would be interesting.
She writes very well, but the problem is she doesn't show anyone. I have to steal it from there, and then there will be screaming match going on in the home. So that is the.
But tell me, so this conversation with teenage children now, the time that you're spending with them, how is it changing your perspective, or is it affecting your writing in any way?
Definitely, no. Definitely, we tend to understand them more when the school is on or the junior college is on. They are with their friends. They rarely spend time inside. Now they are locked in with us. Pity them also one way. They are locked with their parents is the worst thing.
Absolutely.
During the teenage years.
Yeah.
But as far as we are concerned, wife and I are concerned, it's a good time for us. There's a lot of time.
Absolutely. Yeah.
We don't dare to ask how it is for them.
No, but how has it changed your perspective? Has something changed for you because you've had them with you all in the lockdown. So has it changed your perspective? I mean, I'm looking at my son more as an adult now than I ever have, you know. So definitely there is certain things that are changing for me. So what is changing for you?
This is the time I believe they have become kind of friends rather than parent and kid. The more
Nice.
time you spend, they start also sharing things, and
Right.
it is a more matured relationship is coming with them.
Nice. Nice. What has been your takeaway, or what do you think? There was a new thing that you've learned in this lockdown,
From my kids or generally.
or just in general, this lockdown? What is that one thing that you say that 2020 taught me this?
It actually is a time to reflect. Actually, we are first time as a society we are confronting mortality. Then what has happened is simpler things have added more pleasure to life now. We have started looking at small things with lot of interest. So what I am doing now, morning when I go and walk, I am capturing a lot of things in my phone, like spider web. Otherwise, I
Right.
don't have time for all these things. Suddenly,
Right.
suddenly you are seeing the world in a different way. Perhaps I think that is that which has inspired me. In the morning, I had seen a snail walking across the park.
Hmm.
So, you may call me mad. Almost 10 minutes I stood and watched the snail moving through the footpath. I was thinking
Luxury.
this guy is an inspiration because he doesn't have any of the skill set to escape the world. There is a feast of crows going around because of the rains. Lot of worms are come out.
Yeah.
I live near Arai colony, so lot of crows are feasting. There
Correct.
are lot of miners feasting. People are walking. Dogs are walking through the pavement. Vehicle, kids are cycling. This guy is daring to cross the footpath from one end to other, and it is taking him more than half an hour to cross it. He is the most bravest creature. Today morning I was saying, the bravest creature. He has no skill set. He cannot run. He cannot do anything. He's just crawling. He's not turning back. He's keeping on going. I was just standing and watching it.
The
Rather,
last time you must have stood and seen a snail or a butterfly or a bee must have been in your childhood, you know, because
that's what. So it's the second childhood we are enjoying.
that's beautiful. See, an author, a writer, everything that you say has to be said so beautifully. So well said. Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah. Amazing.
Snail, I thought if he can do it, we can do anything because there is nothing there is no one who has every odds against him. So many predators around. Forget predators. They have at least a purpose. They are
Yeah.
trying to reduce their hunger. But how fate acts is like it's not that when you are walking you want to crush the snail. You are in some other world, you may crush it and go. It's
Yeah.
fate acting.
Yeah.
So even
Anand,
it's
you
just going on and on and on. The snail leaving a trail of silver line.
right. Right.
So it was so inspiring for me. More than any books I have read, more than anything I have read, it's like a first-hand experience which make your hair stand up.
And what you realized is that what you needed was the really small, simple things to make to inspire you. You don't really need the big things to inspire you.
I should thank you, Sonali, because I have not put it in word. This has in my mind as a feeling until now. When you asked it again, it came out as a words. Though I couldn't express it properly. Even
Though
10
you expressed it beautifully. What I want to ask you is that you've written about Puranic times, medieval times, and but you know the world we are living in is more dystopian fiction rather than fantasy fiction. So how is the fantasy fiction writer faring in this dystopian world?
For me, every world is dystopian, is what I feel. Even Puranic world is dystopian. Because that is what I did with Bhadra. You imagine one as a common Asura who doesn't have any power, very common man. He is living in Lanka. And Hanumanji comes and sets fire to Lanka. He asks, what have I done wrong? Ravan, my ruler, is evil. He has done something else. You are fighting and I am getting caught in between. So
Right.
he also lives in a dystopian world, a common
Yeah.
man. When we so any field it is any period, this the same thing happens. The fight is with someone else.
So technology would, for you, technology would be magical only. Is that's how you would look at it? I mean, in the dystopian world we are living, look at what we are doing today on a virtual world, the life in any other times would have come to a complete standstill and it would have been completely different. But we've managed to connect and, kind of, we wouldn't have seen each other for years otherwise had it not been for technology today.
Correct.
So in a way, what you would say is the dystopian world, if you put it in fantasy fiction, this is what magic would be.
Yeah, tomorrow's science is today's magic.
Well said, yeah.
So just imagine like old days, they used to give a mirror in the old stories and you can see the lover. So that time had shown it as a magic. Some Maharshi has given this and all those things.
Right, yeah.
Or, Insta or Facebook or Zoom call, you are doing that. So what was magic that day has become science now. And tomorrow's
So be it the fantasy fiction of be it the medieval world, be it today, and be it the dystopian fiction. Stories, you say, are stories. And what is that one thing that you think makes for this most amazing story?
see, any story is about emotion. Human emotion has not changed. Human emotions means everything comes into that. Not only love, hate also comes.
I remember you telling us about the rasas and the yeah.
Everything comes. So story is about that. Once you capture those rasas and once you capture the Panchabhutas, all the elements like earth, sun, once you get that, and once you cater to all your five senses, hearing, seeing,
Right.
this which you capture, the story can be set in any world. It can be in Mahishmati, it can be in future 3000 AD or 3000 BC, doesn't matter.
The trappings change, emotions remain the same.
Emotions remains the same.
It
Same.
can be Mahishmati or it can be Mars. We are the
Can be Mars. See
Yeah.
what Disney do. The great Disney, what he did was he gave human emotions to animals, and we always want the animals to have our emotions, and maybe they have. We don't know. So once he gave that, then what he is projecting is he is projecting the typical American society into all the
animals.
animals into that. He projects the same thing into a typical American family into say crudes or whatever
Yeah.
it is. It's our film, but I'm telling that is how it works. So you are reflecting that only. You are reflecting today's values into whichever way you are putting it. It could be Mahabharata or it could be 5000 AD.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Absolutely. So tell me, what is it that you're looking forward to with the launching of this book?
I want the people to enjoy as much as I enjoyed writing.
Hmm.
I want to suck them into that world, and then I want them to feel that no, this is not Mahishmati, this is where I am living now. These characters are around me, they are walking around us. I can see them. If I am able to bring that out, then I can think I have succeeded somewhat as a writer. That's what I am aiming at.
Beautiful. You say the book 3 is ready, so we better hurry up and read this so that we are ready for the.
I'm planning perhaps to this year before December to come out, because it actually I had almost finished and
Which writer puts out 2 books in a year?
I might for the next 2 years I might be having a book every 6 months or 4 months perhaps, because lockdown has allowed me to write a lot.
Oh my God, this is going to be a treat for us. The lockdown has been a treat for us because we are going to get books from you. That's amazing. Thank you. That's amazing. Yeah. So I must, can I just read because nobody else will have got the book that I have. So I want to just take this chance to kind of read out a bit of the back of the book. The political intrigue is astir in the land of Mahishmati. After the failed coup staged by Thalikas, Shivagami finds herself elevated to the position of Bhumipati, from where she can more ably pursue her burning goal to avenge her father's death. Meanwhile, there is a tussle between the 2 sons of the Maharaja of Mahishmati, both for the crown and Shivagami's affections. And behind the scenes, a wily skilled player of the political game moves the pieces to topple the king, Somadeva. Will the Maharaj, usually able to match wits with the best of them, prevail? Or will one of his many enemies finally be able to best him at this game of Chaturanga? Set against a backdrop of ambition, love, loyalty, passion, and greed, the second book in the Bahubali, before the beginning series, is a twist-a-minute page-turner riveting, and deeply satisfying. Guys, you have heard it. Order it now. It's going to be open for pre-ordering. So just go and book it now. Anand, can you tell us where they can book their copy?
Thank you, Sonali, for the beautiful words. The book is available for pre-order in Amazon. The Amazon Prime customers can get it on August 6th, and worldwide
Okay.
available on August 8th.
So you either have to be an Amazon Prime customer or you just have to be friends with Anand, and then you get it even before the Prime customers.
The real Prime customer, no.
Thank you so much, Anand, and looking forward to the book and looking forward to seeing how it goes, and definitely would want to know, want to see all the characters and kind of remember, guys, we are going to figure out who do these characters, thinly veiled characters, point towards in today's political scenario. That we are going to be looking forward to, and maybe we should discuss that. What do you say, Anand?
Yeah, I would look forward for the feedback from all the readers, and though I may not openly say who is who, it will be interesting to know. Yes, find out.
Is that you're going to give us the names then? Otherwise,
I
it's
will-
fun. So we'll do a vote, maximum votes. Who do you think this one is? Who do you think that one is? It's a thought. Definitely we'll do something like that. But Anand, all the best. And I wish your team also all the best
Thank
for the
you.
book. And really looking forward to it. And I'm looking forward to a lot more books from you, which you have promised you're going to give us. Lockdown has been good for us because you've written a lot. So looking forward to that and all the very, very best.
Thank you, Sonali, for launching the book and the pre-order. So kind of you. As I said, I'm saying it from my heart. You have always been an inspiration for the entire country. Being you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It was such a pleasure. And I'm jumping into this. So guys, here we are. Anand Neelkanthan, Chaturanga, pre-order on Amazon. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.